Hello and welcome to ASMR Scratch Art. Please like, subscribe, share and comment to help the channel grow, and I hope you enjoy this video. We are filming today on the morning of July the 8th. It is very sunny out there. I've not long come back from the school run half an hour ago, and it's really hot. It's now a week and a half till the start of the 6 weeks holiday, so that's happening. And yeah, it's going to be hot again Thursday and Friday. It's supposed to be, oh my gosh, 27 degrees. So far, the weather is just been entirely too hot. I didn't film last week at all because I wasn't very well, but I will not be at some point. And it was 30 degrees last Monday. That was ridiculous. Absolutely ridiculous. So yeah, it's not been great. So I had another infection again last weekend, Friday to be precise. So I'm still not 100%. I'm still really tired. My stomach's still really sensitive. I'm not eating very much, so that's part of why I'm so tired. I'm fatigued. Everything's just I just took myself out of mental that I'd hyperfixated on something because that's what I do, and it ended up making me feel pretty unwell. And it was all tied up with the book I was writing, so that's had to go on hiatus. And there I was, just putting myself back together again, and then I got sick. Everything seemed to be fine. I think a couple of days before I got sick, I started to feel like my stomach was a bit tender. I tested because I got so many of these infections. I actually tested kids and it came up negative. So I was like, okay, it can't be that then. So Thursday night, as I was putting my eldest to bed, I started to get stomach pains. They always start the same way. It starts with bloating, a kind of like a sickly feeling, and little sharp needle-like pains that don't stay in the same place. I kind of feel them everywhere, so I might feel on the left side of my abdomen, then to the right, then the middle, then the upper abdomen as well. So yeah, I'm getting all these pains, but 9 times out of 10, they seem to kind of resolve themselves, and I just put it down to, as I said, bloating, trapping, because I'm not to that. It's become really bad. So I didn't think much of it at the time. And then I was up and down throughout the night, just feeling really pain. I was uncomfortable. All of this stuff. So I went downstairs and I took some more tablets. Drifted out again, and I was taking paracetamol to help with the pain. And at some point, I took some of my youngest daughter's travel sickness tablets, and that seemed to really upset me. And all this time, I'm not really thinking anything of it. I'm thinking, this is all completely fine. Because it never got any worse. If anything, it actually kind of seemed to settle down. So I woke up the next morning and I still felt rough. I didn't have any breakfast. I just had a cup of coffee. But I remember that my mum, the day before I'd been at her house, the Thursday, she'd been complaining about similar symptoms, and she'd been with like stomach cramps and all this kind of stuff. So I figured, not that I'd had anything to eat at her house. I figured, I've touched something and I've picked up some germs and I've got similar symptoms. I know that she was okay, and I thought it was just going to resolve itself. And I'd taken some more travel sickness tablets because I had to take the kids to school. I had to go back anyway because the hairdresser was there. And the whole time I'm there, I'm not feeling great. I'm not feeling terrible either. And one more, I was hungry enough that I sat and ate a biscuit and had another cup of coffee. This kind of stuff, and as I say, I was thinking like, oh, it's not so bad because I don't eat anything, just work itself out. And I left my mum's at about 11:30, and I was just walking up, and my stomach dropped, literally dropped. infection? What if, I'm going to end up being really ill? So I'd only been home about 20 minutes, and I thought, I've got to take myself up to the pharmacy, because here in the UK, you can go now to a pharmacy and get treatment without seeing a doctor for some pretty common stuff like sinus infections, ear infections, and what have you, without having to go to the first, because trust me, it is the first, like in a GP appointment. And this includes me with the particular infection I suffer from. So I'm like, okay, I'll go. I don't feel very well. Maybe I can get these antibiotics in time. It won't go any further. So I go there, I give them my spiel. I sit and I wait to see the pharmacist. He's like, okay, what's wrong? I think I have this infection again. And he says, what do you mean again? And so I go through it, and he's like, so this is your 4th time in a year, which it is, because I had one last July, last October, and I think like March or April this year, I remember having another one. And then he's like, I can't give you the medication because you've had too many infections. You need to call your doctor. And I'm sitting there, and I swear I just wanted to cry. I just wanted to sit there and cry, because I knew he was right, but I also knew, because my doctor's is in a different town. So this is the way of the world these days. I couldn't exactly just get on the bus because I felt pretty. At this point, I'm feeling quite violently at times. And I've already traipsed 10 minutes to the pharmacy, so now I have to traipse all the way back again. So I'm like, okay. So I book a telephone consultation. I tell them my symptoms. I get a call from the receptionist, and I explain what's going on. I explain the situation. And God bless her, and I mean that sincerely. She says, I'll do my best to help you. I'll do my best. And sure enough, I hadn't been home 5 minutes, and bear in mind as well, the pharmacist goes on his lunch at 1 o'clock around this kind of point now. And the doctor with me back, he's fantastic. He said, I'd like you to drop a sample off. And I'm like, I really can't do it. I can't pick my kids up. I don't. My mum wasn't around. She was good. She's actually not in the country at the moment. She's on holiday. She's on an annual holiday jollies in Benidorm. But she wasn't. I couldn't ask her to do it. But God bless the doctor. He's like, next time you really have to leave a sample, but we're still going to give you the medication. So I had to sit around at home feeling like as a badger's bum, as we say in England. And then I had to traipse all the way back again, sit there, wait for the prescription, and then to add insult to injury, the pharmacist that dishes it out to me, who is a different guy from the one I saw out earlier, is like, oh, in future you don't have to go to the doctors, you can just come to us with this medication. And I'm like, I'm still kind of thinking, I wish I could shove this medication up your ass right now. I really, really need it, because like I was literally here an hour ago and you couldn't prescribe it to me because I've had too many infections. But okay. I was so desperate to ward off what I feared was coming, that I brought a bottle of juice to the pharmacy, and I literally stood there outside, tearing the packet open and taking a tablet, thinking, it's gonna work, it's gonna work, it's gonna work. And I remember when I first had this antibiotic a couple of years ago, the guys were like, oh yeah, it should work within about 20 minutes. I didn't feel better in 20 minutes, needless to say, and I could not face the thought of moving to the school to pick up my kids up, because I felt so ill at this point, and I'm still sitting there, I'm still thinking, any minute now, it's going to start working, I want to feel better. Anyways, the upshot of it was, eventually I go to my auntie's to say goodbye to her and other family members, because she was on holiday, and she's like, yeah, I'll take you. And at this point, I'm feeling, by the time we get to the school, and it's about 10 to 3, I'm feeling so bad, I can't even get out of the car. So my mum, who's, not in the best health, walks with a stick. She's like, do you want me to go pick the kids up? I'm like, yes, please. And then she remembers that in her medical bag that she takes the holiday with, she had with your inner ear and it makes you really dizzy. So she had nauseous. So she had these anti-sickness tablets. And she's like, I'll give you one of these. And all she had was like 4 pints of milk in the back of the car that I was supposed to have. And she's like handing me this massive jug of milk and saying, well, just take it for this because there was no water. So I'm desperately swallowing this anti-nausea tablet. And I'm sitting there and I'm waiting for it to work. And let's just say it had the opposite effect. It wasn't so much an anti-sickness tablet at that point as a pro-sickness tablet. Fortunately, my mum had a paper bag in her first aid kit in the car, so the upshot of it is, and I apologise to you because I have a delicate disposition, is that I had to vomit into a paper bag parked outside my kid's school, surrounded by cars, parents and kids. It was not fun. I mean, it's fair to say that at the point I was actually being sick, I could have cared less if I'd seen somebody I knew knocked on the window and raped me. Yeah, it was an experience, shall we say. And of course, as soon as I've actually been sick, I feel better, like 100 times better. And I'm like, oh, thank God, I'm alright now, I've been sick a little bit, everything's okay. No, it wasn't. Within, I would say, 5 or 10 minutes of getting back home from the school, and at this point, thank God my partner's finished work, because he finished work at 3:30. My eldest was off to her grandma's for the weekend, and at this point, no, I'm not good. I'm not good at what I started really, really sick. I'm still waiting for the antibiotics to stop me feeling sick. And I ended up just laid on the bathroom floor. I couldn't even stay on my knees. My head over the toilet bowl. So and at some point, God only knows, like an hour or two later, my partner shows up and he's like, is there anything I can do? And I'm laid on the floor with a towel for a duvet and a towel for a pillow because I can't physically move. And I'm like, oh yeah, I could try another one of those anti-nausea tablets. I think you can guess what happened next. Let's just say I wasn't sick a third time because there was nothing left for me to be sick with. And I didn't start to feel better till midnight. I somehow, after being helped into the shower by my partner, who, God bless him, had an edifying job of cleaning up after a quite comprehensive emptying of my digestive tract. Sadly, one of the towels did not make it, RIP. It was a noble sacrifice. And I laid on it. I couldn't even lie down. I was basically propped up on pillows with my knees up against my chest, just in and out of God only knows what. I wouldn't say I was unconscious at any point. I was not with it for several hours. And I know when I felt better, because I think I did actually fall asleep from around there about midnight. And the upshot of it was, I was chatting with my dad on Instagram because he's at a vegan now. And he said, and I was saying, like, yeah, I feel better now, but I'm wide awake. And he's been, and he was like, I'll go downstairs and read a book. And I was like, yeah, okay. So I took more anti-nausea medication because, bizarrely, it actually works better when you're not actually in danger of making a spectacle of yourself. Took some paracetamol because I was on temperature. I took the second antibiotic. I think the best I could say that it was too late by the time I took the antibiotic to stop me being sick, but it did cut down my recovery time significantly. Normally, I hate that I have to use that one. I'm sick. I mean, really bad. At 12 hours, my bad felt like sweating and shaking. Probably should be in hospital then, but good luck with that. In today's NHS, you do better just try to deal with it. I'm not even joking. Except you want to spend 12 hours at home sweating and shaking and feeling like you're about to pass out. What do you want to do? Prompt a bit of charity. Because it's the same thing. And I know this because I went to A&E in 2022 took all the antibiotics and other medication, but by the time I was actually seen, I was well enough that I was just like, So yeah, it cut down my recovery time from about 12 to 13 hours to 7 to 9 hours, because it's not different sleep. And it wasn't as severe. I felt final degree I usually do. So yeah, it's been a great week. I was just getting over some mental trauma and I got whacked with some physical trauma. So yay me. Thank you very much for listening to my trauma dump. I hope you enjoyed this video.